I don't even really know what to say at this point. Does everyone know how hard it was for us to get here tonight? Does everyone know the backstory? Okay. It was like 6 days ago, Super Heavy Fun Time Burlesque was over. Super Heavy Fun Time Burlesque was fucked. Finished. Over. We broke down in the desert. Broke down is an understatement. We had a 50-cent piece size hole in the radiator of our bus, out of which was shooting a 6-foot stream of steaming hot mixture of water and coolant 30 miles into the mountains, the desert mountains of Arizona. No cell phone service, 2-lane road, no guardrails. We're farther we have ever been from civilization, and we break the fuck down. And at that moment, we were done. Super Heavy Fun Time Burlesque was over. We had $900, maybe, if we were lucky. And I'm just looking at the stream of coolant spraying out the bus, and it's like, I'm thinking $20,000 worth of plane tickets to get these people and their gear home. You know, like, what am I gonna do? And some friendly park rangers drove by, and in hindsight, I now realize if the government had still been shut down at that point, those park rangers would have not been on the job. Luckily, the government was back open. So here's a quick fuck you to the government. So luckily, the park rangers were there. They CB radioed in some emergency roadside assistance. Very friendly men. And I got to experience. So this was a tour of firsts. Well, I've never had my bus break the fuck down in the mountains before. That was the first. And I've never had the bus towed through the mountains, up and down 7% downgrades for 20 miles either. And that's what happened next. And I've never had that happen while sitting in the cab of a tow truck, weeping profusely, while a meth-addicted tow truck driver laughs his ass off, saying, "Oh, it ain't that ain't so bad." And it really isn't that bad. I know people have gone through a lot worse, but at the time, that was the worst thing I've ever experienced. We pulled into Globe, Arizona, our home for the next 5 days, where we waited for a radiator to get flown in from God knows where and installed in our bus. And while we waited, we were met with the extreme generosity of the fans of Super Heavy Fun Time Burlesque, who footed the $8,500 bill of fixing the bus, getting the hotel rooms, feeding everybody. And I appreciate everyone's assistance, but I am also really sick of spending $8,500 in 2 hours. I don't want to do that anymore. And that's like the 10th time we've done this. And this show is spend all our money. But thanks to you guys, we got the bus fixed. We had to cancel 5 shows. Fuck those people. Fuck Alton, Illinois. But 48 hours ago, the radiator was installed, and we began the non-stop 40-hour drive to get to Grand Rapids, Michigan. And it was then, it was on the first leg of that drive that I was at my deepest, darkest pit of hopelessness, sitting on that bus, not knowing how I'm going to keep this show going, how I'm going to feed my cast, how I'm going to get back to Grand of time. What the fuck am I going to do in my future? My savings has been eliminated. I don't know how I'm going to pay rent. I don't know how I'm going to buy cat litter. Everything is fucking over. And we are driving past some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen in my life. And this is important because I'm looking out the window as we're barreling down 8% downgrades way too fast. And I'm not noticing that we're going way too fast. I'm just looking out the window down in the valleys, enjoying myself immensely. And this is what's important, is I am deathly afraid of heights. All the cast and band loves to make fun of me every time we go up a mountain because I'm in the fetal position in the aisle of the bus weeping whenever we're on a hill. And I do not notice we're on a hill. I do not notice we're going way too fast down a very steep hill. I do not notice our brakes are on fire. I do not notice that everyone in the cast is shitting their pants and screaming bloody murder. All I notice is, for the first time, I'm looking out a window down a 2,500-foot drop, and all I can think is how beautiful it is. So I credit each and every one with you for eliminating my fucking fear of heights, Grand Rapids. And I thank you for that. I thank you all for that. I don't give a shit